Good morning, everybody. Okay. How's everyone doing today? Good morning. Psalms 146. I think it's from yesterday, your comment. Okay. I think the ads are playing, so I'll give you some time to get in as well. I know the ads are playing. The macro blessings to you. Blessings, Darren, with Can't Stop Walking but Love Mowing and Cruising. Blessings to Miss Renaissance Grandma. And I'll give you all a few minutes. I have my coffee here. My hands are dry. Jeez. Even though you have a shower in the morning and you put on the good stuff, I don't know, maybe because I wash my hands so much. But how's everybody doing today? I know today's a live-a-thon, so people kind of have to get from one to the other or put on two windows. I don't know how you guys are going to do it. Morning, D-Mood. Blessings to you. Give me 1 second. I got to check this email to make sure. Um, it snowed again last night over here, so I have to make sure that the snow company removal cleared the rental property. Okay. And I'll verify with the person there. You got to stay on top of these things, otherwise, you're paying for a service and you're not getting it. So sorry, it's I don't even know how to use. I hate when they showing my age. I guess the emails. Yeah, there's a live-a-thon today, D Mood. I don't know. I left. I left at 8 o'clock. I didn't leave. 8 o'clock. I was at Miss OG, Miss Shirley OG, and I know today 3 o'clock for those of you Broke Farmer's doing a 5,000 subscribers giveaway. So for those of you who support his channel, I don't know when he set it for, but this morning when I got up, it was on my feed. So I put a reminder. So 3 o'clock today, Eastern time, I believe, is Broke Farmer. But there is a live-a-thon today. You have to check Motivation with the Weightlifting Geek. He has a community tab. You can scroll through and see the schedule. I think Can't Stop Walking but Love Mowing was at 5 a.m. That's on a Saturday morning. That's too early for me. So I usually watch, Hypathon. It's the same thing. Live-a-thon, Hypathon. It's the same. Tomato, tomato. Tomato, tomato. So I'm going to watch the replay for Darren's live later. African Dreaming was on at 3 a.m. again, too early for me in my time zone. I went to bed late, so I'll watch the replay. And last night I was on Big Rooster and I hopped on to Blue Lotus after. And yeah, so I'm hopping around. Hey, blessings, Fifi. Yeah, I think it's Hypathon, but Liveathon, Hypathon. I think they changed the name, but it's the same thing. Get your hot drink ready, guys. If you don't have it, get it ready. And these emails. Oh yeah, go on the Motivation with the Weightlifting Geek. Blessings, Joe Vacu. He has a post a few days ago, a couple of posts showing the schedule. I don't know this. I just know that Miss Shirley OG was 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I thought. And other people that I know, I have to find them in the list. But I knew that Darren was this morning, African, and Miss Shirley OG are people that I know. Later on this evening is somebody else. I can't remember who right now. Don't quote me, but you might have to just hop back and forth. Okay, no problem. D Mood, we'll see you later. I'm gonna hit the street after today as well. And anyone, did I miss anybody? Okay. All right, so get your hot drink ready. I don't have anything really planned, but you know how that goes. Hold on, let me just reply to this email. I don't know why it saves it as a draft, and then okay, I think it worked now. They change the email, and I don't like how they make these little changes. Leave it the way I liked it from before, where I know how to use it. Okay, so let me go on the Instagram and see what's going on. I have some things that I haven't gone to the range yet. It's March, and this is really bad. So the range that was recommended to me, I follow them on Instagram and I checked them out. They look really good. I see a lot of women at this particular range. It's out of the way though. It's far. And they had one clip of a girl who's 13 who was firing. So they have a lot of women at that range. So I'm gonna go there, but I did notice I don't see anybody of my group that was there, so I'm not sure. I'm gonna go anyways. My other friend wants to start shooting, and she's back in town. She's on vacation. She's back in town. She mentioned it to me again on Sunday, so I told her potentially next week I'm gonna go for the first time at this range. She does not have a license at all, which is fine. It's a fully staffed location that has licensed individuals, so you don't have to have a license. And my license is still in the works in terms of you have to wait for them to mail it back to you and all that kind of stuff. So um I'm going to go do the package where you have 3 firearms, the shotgun, the rifle, and a handgun, because that's what I did in the class, so that way I can keep my skills up on all 3, because I can't own a handgun here anyways. I can own it, but I can't use it anywhere but a range. So what's the point of training with a handgun? Most likely in my home it's going to be a shotgun or a rifle. So I want to make sure I know how to use that effectively, even though I don't have any in my home as yet. They're coming once I get the license in my hand and the insurance. Gotta have insurance. I learned that from you guys in the 2A. You gotta have insurance, because if something goes left or you're even defending yourself, you need some insurance, because they'll tie you up in court. So when I go, I'm gonna try the one that Fifi has, which is the Mossberg. They had that on the list, so I'm gonna check out the Mossberg. But I know for sure from the class, I like the pump action. I'm like clickety clack. I'm just sitting there like I'm doing a real thing. But anyways, so when that happens, I will get my friend to record and like get some footage. Oh, you're in the ads. Oh, I think I put some long ads on. Sorry guys, gotta make that coin, right? Gotta get those coins wherever you can. So I will be doing some footage of that, so you guys can see. And for those of you who are in the growing contest, the WIG, I'll get my footage out. She's dropping off a package. D-Mood's dropping off a package for Fifi. My WIG was going okay, then the aphids, and it came back. Anyways, these bugs, for those of you who are into the gardening, the aphids didn't leave, and they were hiding in the endive. Even though I dipped it in soapy water, I guess I didn't, have a deep enough bucket. You need a bucket because you can't play with these bugs. I've been spraying it again, and I think they're gone. But my problem is I replanted. This light seems so dark. I replanted that other unit that I was been complaining about with 20 new crops, and a lot of brassicas are in there, and that's going to be a problem if the aphids are here, because they like the bok choys. I did a lot of bok choys and those kind of stuff. 3 kinds of bok choys. Sorry, I'm have to move this light, and then it's making me bang on the microphone. 1 second. Okay. And so that might be a problem. So all that work may have been wasted. The herb garden challenge, boy. Okay, I'll email you D-Mood. I think I want some of that Jamaican pumpkin, and I think I can get gunga peas here, but we'll see. Yes, I saw your little garden growing in your truck. Can't stop walking. Or Darren, you mentioned a new channel on your live the other day, and I can't find it. You said OTR gardening. So when I'm looking it up, Black Soil, boy, good to see you, sister. Wagwan, G Mama, good to see you as well. But I haven't been watching for you, Black Soil. I know you're in the bushes, but man, good to see you. I know stuff is going on, but thinking about you, man. Yeah, the growing indoors. Listen, don't conflate my complaints. I'm new to this, so there's a lot of growing pains. It's a very good thing to do. So don't think that, but some people don't seem to understand that we're in a cold climate. Me and Fifi, even G Mama, Renaissance Grandma, we're in a cold climate. Growing outdoors, there's snow. It snowed again last night. I cannot grow outdoors. Some of you are like, anyways, I won't go there. But It's not so simple as just dropping some seeds in some dirt. If that's all I had to do, I have no problem. I've been doing that for years. I can do that in my sleep. Indoor growing is a different kettle of fish. And what I realized is my pH was way off. So those of you who know about pH, mine was 8. That's way too alkaline. I ordered a pH reader. I had it here from before I had the hydroponics, but I didn't calibrate it. So I finally calibrated it, tested the water. It was 8. Most vegetables like between 5.5 and 6.5. So you have to understand the pH balance. Hey, Erica. You have to understand the nutrients, when you need nutrients, when you don't, when to change the water, when not to, when to top it up, because sometimes the water gets whatever. Um, it smells a little like a fish tanky. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go to the store today in this, even though it snowed, get a couple of more bottles of distilled water and do it. So your plants are not gonna thrive the same way as in the soil. I don't want to downplay anything, but people have to realize, you gardeners, that is, who've been gardening for a long time, growing in soil is fairly easy because the soil does, even if your soil isn't the best, isn't the most nutrient dense, it does a lot of the work for you. When you're growing in water, that's different. Now, I can grow indoors in soil, but we already know what happened with that, with the bugs. And I am not having bugs up in the house. I'm done. The gnats are almost pretty much completely gone. I'm done. That's going to be in the garage next year. I'm going to clean up the garage this spring and summer, and that's going to be a grow area. For anybody who grows in your house, soil is not it. Coconut coir is okay. Coir, whatever they call it. Peat moss is okay, but you're still going to have to fertilize it. Okay. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. So you can't compare the two, is what I'm trying to say. Some people are like, they're two different beasts, two different kettle of fish. I saw a couple of hydroponics places on my feed and Instagram, Philippines, even the US, Jamaica, um, St. Vincent. I think is it St. Vincent? Oh, Fifi's country. I forgot the country. Dominica? I can't remember your island, Fifi, but Grenada, because it's a spice island. Grenada has a hydroponic. People are doing it with the PVC piping, and they're doing the thing because they understand the importance of growing with the technology, and soil may not be it. So I'm asking the symptoms and the signs. Well, the first sign was my basil was yellow. The seedling leaves, the true leaves, very yellow, and you could see the veining lines in the leaves. Basil is one of the greenest plants there is. So if that's yellow, something's wrong. I thought it was a nutrient deficiency. It could have been. So I added Epsom salt because of my research. Also, hey, blessings TLC and whoever else I miss. I see you guys popping in here. Liz B, I see you there. And it froze. Okay, I'll get down there. And my parsley's growing in, same thing, yellow. The oregano grew and then it stopped. And now it's going yellow. So I'm most likely for the herb garden challenge, I'm gonna have to replant all my seeds because the other rosemary didn't germinate. The one that did is not growing very much. The 2 oreganos germinated. I haven't seen no growth. The coriander hasn't germinated. The arugula, which is pretty much like lettuce, hasn't germinated. It's just, so I have to redo all of the stuff. So I'm probably going to dump out the water, even though I got it at the right pH. I'm going to dump the water, put fresh water in, measure the pH, add my liquid nutrients, and then start from scratch. And some of you, I know Sam was having an issue with her WIG. It's not a failure. It's just, it is what it is. If you don't know the best process, this is what happens. Next time, I know, check your pH first. Put the sponges in, check your pH, because the sponges, I'm sure, again, I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty quick on my feet. I'm sure the sponges change the pH. So you got to check. So, yep, G-Mama said it right. Soil is forgiving. Hydroponics can kill your plants in one day. So some of you, I don't know who, but people may say, oh, you don't know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm learning. But growing in water is not forgiving. Is not forgiving. That's what people don't understand. And literally in one day, I 6 plants that were okay are gone. They're not doing well. And you don't have time to waste. So you have to just, my favorite song, you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away, and when to run. So I'm going to have to start from scratch because time is of the essence. I have no bugs in my house and I have a garden soil. So I keep hearing you saying that, but that is not my experience. Did you disinfect your water? I mean, your soil, Fifi? Are you using fresh soil? Tell us more. I'll drop the link. You can you don't have to stay on the camera. You can just say, because I'm telling you, soil has bugs. So unless you already used that soil before, you have watered it with mosquito bits or some kind of something, or maybe you don't notice the bugs because they're in a separate room. Do you have the yellow sticky traps on in your grow area, Fifi? Maybe you're just not seeing them because these bugs are smart. Sometimes they don't come out. They stay in the dirt, and then in the nighttime they come out, and you won't know until you have sticky traps and see them on the sticky traps. Because as night follows day, the soil them have bugs. Soil has bugs. If I missed anybody, I'm just trying to see. Yep. Hey, Liz B and TLC. I think I got you guys already. Blessings to you, Planter Garden. I see you there. Oh, hey, Bougie. Good to see you. And okay, I'm gonna get back down to G Mama. Hydroponic gardening requires pH testing. It's really not just. It's not. And a lot of these kits that you see, I was watching, I'm getting a lot of ads for hydroponics because now when you have one or you search for one, it's on your feed. And it's like, oh, just, the click and grow, just pop it in and it grows. Maybe they have something built in to the pods that keep the pH stable, but they've done the work for you. That's the only reason why it could be click and grow or just plant it and walk away. That makes no sense after my experience. Let me see here. You're currently doing an organic hydroponics with 5-gallon buckets. Very good. Hey, Black Soil, I see you there. Let me see your face in the back, in the behind the scenes, Black Soil, to make sure it's you, because there's some things going on in these streets where people are doing some bad things. Let me just make sure it's you. Can I see your face? It says not connected. Device not connected. Something happened to your connection. Okay, you're back now. Okay, I see you. Okay, you can turn off your camera now if you don't want your camera on, but I'm gonna bring you up now. Okay, I see. Okay. So, okay, that's good. Demo, they're doing. Or yeah, just check your pH because your plants will be fine for days, and all of a sudden, boom, because of pH. Um, I showed it to Fifi's journey. Okay, well, show it on your channel, Demo. Don't be selfish. Show it on your channel. Organic soil is full of. I'm telling you, I don't know, Fifi. I don't know where your bugs are hiding, but trust and believe. I had a pineapple plant, and no bugs. When I pick up the plant and look at the drainage holes, pure bug down there, hiding in the coming in and out the draining hole.
Everyone.
How you doing, Black Soil? Where you been hiding?
I'm blessed. Just dealing with what's going on here at my
Yeah.
house, my brother and stuff. So I haven't had the time to dedicate to that because my brother's, his thing is more important right
Full
now.
time. Yeah, you need full. You have to do full time
Yeah.
care.
So
Yeah, man.
everything went on hiatus as far as the YouTube channel, but my garden is still my sanctity. So I go out there. My carport, boy, you should see it. It is full. I did a video yesterday, so hopefully I get it out this week. But my
Okay.
carport is full of so many seeds I done started. It's so horrible out there.
Okay. Fifi's coming up. Hold on. Hey, Fifi. How you doing,
Good
girl?
morning, guys.
Blessings,
I still have
Fifi.
one morning space.
It's okay. So do I. I just put on
Me
some lotion
too.
and some.
Me too. I was still in the bed.
Yes, so my garden is right here, literally in my dining
Mm-hmm.
room. I have absolutely no bugs, no bugs
So did
Wow.
flying
you do
around.
something to your soil before? Like, what did you
Absolutely
do?
nothing. So what I did was I had a piece of top. It's regular garden soil that I used last year, and I
Mm-hmm.
got
Hmm.
some compost, some fresh compost, and I mixed it with it. and
Mhm.
I had it in my garage for a few months before I started using it.
Okay, so
Oh,
maybe
I don't
maybe
know.
that's what it was.
that's
I
Yeah.
probably
can't
what
say
it
that
was.
anything
Yeah.
specific happened, but it's a regular soil that I did nothing with, that I added nothing to, and it's
Wow.
right here in my dining room at those windows. No
You
Wow.
know what
bugs.
I think happened? I think because you had it
You
in the
said,
garage sitting
yeah.
there, they couldn't feed off of nothing, so them dead.
Right. Yeah. Because
Them
So it
dead,
can
yeah.
be done. Regular natural garden soil.
Well, it can be done,
Also,
but you did do something first. You didn't just bring them in your house.
I
yeah.
I I brought the soil in, not thinking
Yes.
about bugs, but thinking about I need my soil to not be frozen for when I need
Right.
it to get my start.
Right.
So it was just bringing in the soil so I can have it to use. And there it is, right
I
behind me.
think I
No
think
bugs.
you had it in the house, and that downtime there was nothing for them to feed off of. The bugs couldn't eat nothing. There was nothing in there's no nothing planted. Because when
Right.
I planted my stuff fresh and put it
Right.
roots come here, they were eating the roots of the pineapple fifi. They were killing up the roots, and I
Wow.
couldn't figure out why my calamandan orange and my pineapple was dying,
Right.
and it
Because
was they're eating the roots.
I keep hearing you saying that with the soil, and about the soil, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't
Yeah.
understand
I
how.
didn't I didn't
There,
leave
and I
my soil.
had nets
That's why I
everywhere.
want my garage cleaned up so I can have the soil in the garage, make it have its
Wow. Yeah.
downtime, not
Mm-hmm.
in the house. And then when it's had about a few weeks there, then
Right.
plant in it. But what's
Right.
up, D Moon? How
But
you doing, brother? I thought you were on the road.
I
but
I was
also,
outside in the car getting ready to go, so I said, "Let me come back in and show you this thing so I can get on the road."
Hold
But
on,
this
let me
is
let me make you big. Hold on. How do I make you big? Well, that's me. Wrong person. Hold on. Wait there. Wait, hold on. Make click on you. Hold on. How do I make you big? Give me a second here. Oh, here, solo layout. There you are. Oh, that looks nice. So you have 4 holes in there.
so this is a 5 gallon bucket. I have four 3-inch holes with the net cups. So these are bell peppers that are
Mhm.
growing. These are lettuces, and over here on this side I have kales and mustard. So all of these are kales and mustard, right? So this setup was the guy that I sent you the link. It's the guy in Canada, and this is not with hydroponic solution. This is with a modified kind of compost tea, because all it is organic matter. It's compost, it's kale, it's grass clippings, and it's wood chip clippings that I let soak for about 2 days, and then I pump air from a fish tank pump
Pump. Yeah, yeah.
with the grow lights. And this thing right here, everything you see right here, is only been 1 week of growth. I was just shocked that the peppers were growing like crazy like this.
Wow.
That is nice. So
Wow.
where did you start your seeds though? In Rockwool? Like where did you start the seeds?
I literally started my seeds with paper towels and water. Once they got um, going, I just put them in the rock and let them go. And you can't see it now, but the nutrients is just barely touching the roots, and it's gonna go down from what I understand
Yeah.
and get what they need. So, like I said, I started on 1 February, so it's 11 days in.
Somebody's
And
echoing. I think someone said I think it's you, Black. So let me mute. Hold on. Give me a second. Yeah, I think Black Soul. I think you had something
so
in the background. Okay, go ahead, D-Moon.
I figured I'll show it to you because Fifi told me, like, Emu, this is content you need to show people because everybody
Hello,
needs
this
to
is
know.
content. You should have done
So,
the
you know,
yeah,
the herb challenge. Jeez. No,
so
and
maybe not. I want to win. No, don't join the herb. No, don't join the herb challenge.
and
You don't want.
then if
this
you're
is
using like natural stuff for the fertilizer or the nutrients you put in there. I don't know a lot about hydroponics. I've never done it. I'm not
Just check.
interested in
Just
it,
check
but
your
at the same
pH.
time, if you could use natural
I'm
stuff in it, then
I'm literally using all natural stuff. I haven't
right.
done no pH checks, no none of that. All I did was take compost, which was the stuff that I was attempting to make in my yard, which is
Mm-hmm.
just a combination of my native soil, grass clipping, wood chips
Mm-hmm.
that's been sitting out in my yard since September. And I basically took a quarter pound of it because I actually weighed each thing. A quarter pound in a net bag of compost, a quarter pound of grass clippings, a quarter pound of wood chips, and per gallon of water, I put a tablespoon of Epsom salt. So it's a 5
Yeah,
gallon
Epsom
bucket.
salt is the truth. Yeah.
So it's a 5 gallon bucket. So I put 5 tablespoons of Epsom salts in there. And kale, I'm not close to a beach, so what I did was I went to an Asian market and found kale, organic kale, just kale, nothing added. And I took the kale, which are the kale wraps, and I crushed them up. And all I did was take net bags, hang them in the water, and the water in here is rainwater. That's all that's in here is rainwater.
That's what it, okay. So
That's
that's
the
why you
key.
don't have to check the pH. Because I'm like,
That's
you're not
the
you okay,
key.
that makes
Yep.
sense. You're not using spring water or distilled or
Right.
tap, you're using rainwater.
Rainwater,
Yeah,
because
The
that's
pH
what
is
I'm
already
using.
I have a catchment system outside, so
Right.
the water that I'm using, and it's just like with my blueberries. The only thing I feed my blueberries is rainwater. So
You
all
know
of
what I'm
this,
gonna do? I'm gonna shovel some snow in the bucket like I did last year. Let it melt and
Mhm.
use that as the water and see if that makes a difference for my
Yep.
unit.
So
That's
Fifi, because
yeah.
you told me to show content is holding me up from going to deliver your package.
That's fine. That's
No,
totally
that's
fine.
real
But
good, D-Mood.
yeah,
That's real good because you that's the secret.
it's
Rainwater.
simple. It's
Okay,
simple. Yeah,
Rainwater.
that's
Yeah.
what
so
I
you're
use for my indoors too.
so you're talking
Rainwater.
about bugs, right? So
Yeah.
I don't have any bugs, you see my indoor setup. I don't have no bugs.
What
Right.
did you do, guys? It doesn't just
I
happen. So you did
and
something.
I'm
and this is
telling you,
what I
I did
did.
nothing.
I use
You
cocoa
did. You
cure.
put it in the garage. You don't
I-
realize that's
my
something.
garage has normal stuff. My plants that I'm overwintering is also in my garage, and they're alive with the soil that's in the containers. So I did nothing.
So the way I work my system is they
Mhm.
start up here on the table, so they get lower light on the table,
Mhm.
and when they get bigger, I just transfer them down where the light is up higher.
And is that a fig tree there? What's that?
Those are all figs. There's 5 different figs. These are the cuttings that Fifi sent me.
No.
She's like, no.
Oh, nobody sent me. So
Oh, she don't want. Don't call out her name.
so this is my greenhouse right here, and it's my humidifier, and all it is a tote. But I'm gonna tell you what,
Where
this
did, that,
thing.
where did that dirt come from, D-Mood? Where did that soil come from? Is it from outside
Okay,
or in the
so
bag?
this soil came from Cocoa Cure. I literally bought the bricks.
Oh, that's not soil then. That's not
It's
soil.
not
Okay.
soil. It's Cocoa
That's
Cure
why.
and vermiculite. That's all it is.
You guys be lying, you know. You just tell a half truth. That's not soil. That's
Let me
coconut.
let
There's
me
no
put my
bugs in
damn-
there. That's sterile.
Let me
Now,
put my
Fifi
camera
saying she has
on.
actual soil.
Listen, I told everybody that inside, from after going through the experience of all these gnats, I said I would never put soil in my house again. And when I found out that I could do Cocoa Cure and it would do the same thing, I just go with And I've only been doing this 2 years. And
That's what I do as well. Coconut coir and peat, but that's not soil. So that's you're saying the same thing I'm saying.
That's
soil brings
demood.
bugs.
That's demood. But look at mine. This is pure soil.
Well, so look, I'm doing this year.
Pure
This
soil.
chayote,
Chocho, okay.
chocho, and you see it already coming.
I have to investigate what Fifi's doing. She probably doesn't realize what she's doing, but something's going on while the bugs are dying.
That's
Something
what I'm
definitely.
I had it in the garage with my other plants. So I don't know.
May I tell you, because I bought bag of soil
You know
and
what?
the bag soil had bugs.
You know
I
what?
brought other
I
soil,
had
it had bugs.
I had it in the tarp, and the tarp was like this. So it
Maybe
could have
the
been
tarp
that because they weren't
smothered
able to
them.
get out. It could have been
Right,
that. But
right.
I'm not saying that I did anything. I don't know what I did. I just wanted my soil, brought it in, had it in a tarp with the tarp closed up, not purposely, but it's soil. So I just wanted to cover it. And maybe that's what happened.
Definitely.
Normal, natural soil.
So let me tell you my experience. So I was having the real bad gnat thing that you were having. And what I ended up doing was I was watching videos and I saw a guy in the Philippines that he used Cocoa Cure. But what he does is he doesn't buy, he actually used the coconuts, he chopped them up himself and he used no bugs. So I was in one of the box stores, and I ain't gonna give them no advertisement, but I was in one of the box stores and I saw the compressed brick. And so what I did was I bought one and I said, I want my soil to be inert where I don't have any bugs in it, because a lot of times the gnat eggs be in it. So
Exactly.
what I did was I took the brick, put it in a 5-gallon bucket, and boiled my kettle, and I cooked it. Poured the water in there, put aluminum foil over it, and let it fluff
Steam
up.
it. Yeah, I did the same thing. Yeah, no problems with that.
So that last year was my first year doing it, and so once I brought it in last year, no gnats, and so this is my second year, no gnats. Knocking on wood, because anything is possible. But so far, so
I've been
good.
using your method as well with the coconut coir and the brick, and I haven't had no bugs. And I do put a little hot water on it. That works. No bugs, but I'm talking about regular potting mix, seed starting mix. They've let me down one too many times.
Yeah.
So I'm done with them.
But
unless I'm gonna cook it first.
But anyway, like I said, I can't stay. I just wanted to jump on and show you the organic setup. And like I said, it's just an experiment. This is my first week of doing it.
Listen, I'm gonna copy that next week. You're gonna watch me. I'm getting my bucket and I'm gonna because the rainwater, that's the trick.
Yep, rainwater.
Yes. That is definitely the trick, because your pH is not gonna be off. It's
Right.
already God-given pH.
So
It's gonna be
that's why,
perfect.
right? That's why Planter was saying on his live last time that you have to plan this next season, right? And this rainwater that I have stored up is from last year that I caught. It's winter now. I'm not going out there to, collect water. We have gallons and gallons of water that we caught last year to do whatever with, and that's what I'm using on my stats inside. You have to plan your season. You have to plan what you're going to need, what you're going to use. You have to literally have a plan.
You, for your water, because I know for me, and if you have to leave, Demo, it's okay. You can just jump off. It's not being rude.
Have a good day. I'll be listening in the background.
No problem. Thank you. Do you find, like, for me, I can't keep my rainwater because the barrels will bust. Two of the barrels at my parents' house crack because the water expands.
Right.
So we have to dump all the water off in November and start fresh in the spring. So I don't know. Do you have like a heater, or yours is just not cold like mine?
I don't have a heater. Right now it's empty. But what we were able to do, let me show you, because I have my setup right here for when I'm ready to water.
We gotta share, because Brooke's saying he doesn't have gnats and something's going on.
I have at least 20 of these.
And that's from rainwater that
these are all rainwater. It's all rainwater in it, because I empty my 2 IBC tanks into those and we store them up.
You know what? So I'm gonna, because I'm using the water now from that big jug. I'm gonna keep my jugs in and put the water in there.
These jugs, you can get them for free. Like, they're everywhere. I keep saying free all the time, and it's because I look for stuff, because it's out there. You type it in and you find it. People are always trying to. Sorry about my dog.
No problem, Dora. Is it Dora?
Yes. People are always trying to give stuff away, get rid of stuff. They don't have space to store it up. And so I go online and I look Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. There are things out there that you can actually use and repurpose it, and use it for
so you know what? That helps me. I'm going to make sure that we pour off the barrel into those jugs and put them in the garage, because that water is way better than any water I can buy.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then Broke Farmer, I don't know what he's doing. He said he doesn't have no gnats, and he's using the you may not realize, but you guys are doing something, because I'm telling you, unless it's a different brand, unless it's the hot sun over in your climate that burnt, I don't know what it is.
I don't have hot sun
over here. Broke's in Georgia. Maybe it's the steam. Oh yes, look at G-Mama says steam kills the bugs.
I don't do anything.
Maybe the your tarp and having it wrap up made it very warm in there, and it just kill them off. I don't know, but something happened. Definitely. Is it possible for there to be bugs hiding inside dry peat pellets? I heard it's possible, but that's why they say pour on warmer, not boiling hot, but hotter water when you make them expand, and that will kill any eggs. And I did that last year. I had no problems. I had no bugs in my peat pods. And we're using them again this year.
Okay.
So maybe the tarp, maybe that's what it is. Put it in the garage, wrap it up, make it, smother it, and make it sit there for a few weeks, and that would kill. That's exactly what happened, Jova. Don't let the barrel that my sister didn't empty it like she was supposed to, and turn them upside down, and we lost one of the barrel. It crack up. So I'm going to see if I can cut the barrel in half and use it as a planting, like a raised bed. Cut the bottom off and leave the walls up,
right?
And make a raised bed with it. because we don't waste nothing. But yeah, you'll crack up all your barrels, your
Right. You
toast,
have to
and mash
empty
them
it.
up.
You
Yeah.
have to empty. You definitely. It's just like with a swimming pool in the colder in these cooler places. You have to like empty it like a good chunk, so that way when it freezes and expands, you don't have any issues. So it's the same thing with the barrel, because you know when that water freezes, what's gonna happen? It needs room.
Exactly.
So that's what we
Exactly.
do. We just empty it in the for the winter time, and
And you
it's
keep it
good
for
to
the
go for
next,
next
which is what
season.
you need,
Yep.
because that's the problem. I'm using well, I'm buying distilled water for my starts. That's too sterile. So then you're
Right.
heavily relying on the nutrients that you're pouring in.
Right.
And Moon, that's a perfect test he did, because the rainwater and the natural compost tea.
Right. And if you think about it, when you water your plants and you use the city water from the pipes, from the faucet, you would
A
see how
pure
your
bleach
plants
water,
would
that a
react.
bleach.
Yeah, compared to how if it gets rainwater and they're up and perky, they're enjoying the rainwater because it doesn't have all those chemicals in it to purify anything. It's just natural rainwater. So
Yeah,
that's what gives
I
you the
have to get,
idea to
because
catch the
I was
water
thinking
and
about that, but I
yeah.
didn't click, like, because in the garage I have my fig tree, which is blooming again.
Mm-hmm.
And I shoveled some snow in a bucket and I poured the melted snow onto the plant to water it.
Right.
And that plant's in the garage, no
Perking up.
sunlight, and she's happy. She's living
Perking
her
up.
best
Yep.
life.
Yep.
Rainwater, snow.
I literally just pulled some young figs off my fig tree. I'm like, it's too early. Calm down.
Well, I have them all on there. I should probably pop them off, because I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe it's too early. But
Yeah, I
I was
pulled
just so
them
happy
off.
that it's fruiting. I'm like, oh yes, go ahead, live your best life. And the Swiss chard dead. Everything in the garage died because I haven't been in there to water it.
Right.
And then when you water a plant, it just runs right through because it's so
Right.
dry.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna start them fresh, because it's just running all over the garage, making a mess. I don't have the
Yeah.
saucers underneath. I'm like, forget it. That can dead. The
So what
fig
I do
tree.
too is I have like a 3 or 5 gallon. I don't remember which one my husband got, but a sprayer. So you're not pouring the water heavily, so it goes all the way down to the bottom. It just takes its time and soaks through the soil. And then
That's
you have
what
to.
yeah.
I water it, to be honest with you, like probably once every 2 or 3 weeks in the garage.
Yeah, because it doesn't get dry. There's
That's what
no
I'm saying. There's no
evaporation.
heat.
Yeah,
There's no
not much
sun.
evaporation.
Exactly.
Yeah. The I don't, hold on, let me change it, because look, I'm big. Wait, hold on, no, hold on, hold on. I want two people. Oh, I want this version. Yeah, I feel like I'm in the camera. Jeez. Bougie saying she hasn't checked her pH. I checked my pH for the 1 unit just because just to check, and it was fine. I think certain brands have some different sponges, because I use the sponge that came with that brand, and it's different than the other company I bought the unit from. And I think the sponges are affecting. So I'm doing an experiment with the sponges. I'm using the wrong ones with the wrong unit to see. And I think the sponges made the water very alkaline on the 1 unit. The herbs don't like it at all. They have been telling me like, yo, what you doing over here? So I got it right, the pH right, and I could see the leaves are turning green already. So, but I'm gonna try rainwater because it snowed last night. I'm gonna shovel it in a bucket, and I'm gonna try refilling that unit with just the rainwater and see if that makes a difference. And I think it will. Now that D-Mood said that, that's the plan. So
Right.
thanks for the. I'm gonna keep all those big jugs in from now on,
Yep. Yep. Or you
and
can.
just fill them up with rainwater.
Yeah, like I mean, in the warmer weather, you can just keep it in the
In the
barrels.
barrel, yeah. I'll
But
keep it, but
once
in
you're
the
planting your
fall,
garden for the following year, you want to store up your water, empty that
yeah.
barrel so you don't lose that barrel too.
Yeah, because the seed starting, I definitely think it'll be much better with the rainwater.
Absolutely.
So once I sterilize the pods, I'm going to plant my seeds basically this weekend.
Right.
I'll start watering it with the liquid feed and the rainwater, because I found last year my starts did a lot better when I gave them some liquid feed. Because
Okay.
after the point when they get their true leaf, there's no nutrients. So I had to
Right.
give them what's the snow dropping down from the root lord? I had to give them some food because the year prior I didn't give them nothing.
Okay.
My seedlings were I'm like, what is struggling so? No concept of giving them food. No, because I was so used to doing them in soil that
Right.
had nutrients,
Gotcha.
but the
Yeah.
coconut coir doesn't have anything. You have to
That's
put it
right.
in.
Yeah, there's nothing in there than that dry old,
So yes, G Mama saying yes, some sponges have slow release fertilizers embedded in them for plant growth. So you think you're doing well, but really you're not. They've built it in for success, and you're not learning what you need to do in the future. Yep. So now that I've ran out of those sponges, I have to buy some generic ones from Amazon. I bet you those ones do not have fertilizer in them because I'm not getting the same results. I'm like, this is really kind of whack. What's happening here? Yeah, it's because the sponges are fooling you.
Yeah, because they don't all have the same. I mean, I can't talk too much about it because I don't know about it.
Well, it's the same as soil, though. But same as soil.
Yeah, when you think about it, like some companies may have whatever fertilizer built in and some may not, and you may not realize that, thinking, okay, I'm gonna get a cheaper one or whatever the case is. And hi, Gina, but not realizing that that one doesn't have the fertilizer in it to feed your plant.
And then you're wondering why you're not succeeding because you've changed brands and not computing. Oh shoot, that's what it is. Because even G Mama said that there are certain brands of stuff that have like chemicals in it, and her plants were dying. I think it was either the sponge or something she was using, and she realized that it had a chemical that they used in it. And when she sterilized it or something, I can't remember, but she realized what the problem was. And you think that all products are created equal? They're not equal. Not. What's going on, Miss Gina? You still having a birthday celebration rolling over?
No, I'm running the streets as usual. I just have a quick question though that I thought y'all might be able to help me with. So my moringa leaves were yellowing. So I asked Planter a while back about that, and he said I was watering it too much, so I kind of cut back on that, and they got better. Everything was fine. My concern now, though, is that all the leaves yellowed and fell off. And I don't know if it's because I just have it planted in, it's in pots that I did with the seed starter mix. So it's just basically peat moss, basically.
I'm looking it up, but I have a suspicion. Hold on.
I was going to say, is it a nutrient thing because
definitely. That's what popped up. It says here, hold on, give me a second.
That's what mine used to look like, Fifi. And I was like, I think I need to put some kind of, so basically I probably need to put it in some regular soil at this point.
Yeah, because you have it in the coconut, the whatchamacallit, the non-soil soil.
And it was looking really good. It looked it was smaller than yours, Fifi, but it was almost that big.
And you need to make sure that it has sufficient light. Mine is at a window. It
does have light.
Mine is mine is getting the sunlight, the natural sunlight, but I also have the grow light because the days are still shorter. And I think the natural light helps it better.
So it says these three things. So it says here, if the leaves are yellowing, like the bottom leaves, the moringa prioritizes the stronger leaves, so they'll get rid of the old leaves. Then it says overwatering. So you said you stopped overwatering, so we'll skip that. So it says bad soil. Weak soil does not have nutrients the moringa needs. Replant in stronger soil, find an area with better sunlight, and add fertilizer to your soil.
Okay.
So if you're not going to up pot it, you can give it a liquid feed. It's up to you. Try both and see a liquid feed and see if that helps. If not, up pot it and see what that. But it's soil. It's looking for food, and it can't find it.
That's what I was thinking. The stem of it is still nice and green, so I'm going to do that today because I don't want it to completely die. But all the leaves fell off yesterday. When I got home, I was like, oh my God.
It's like, Gina, hello? I'm sitting here getting yellow and you ain't doing nothing.
No, I saw it doing it. I go in there every day and look at the plant, but I was like,
plants have attitudes. I'm telling you, they get very feisty. They're like, excuse me, lady.
Plants do communicate. They tell you, this is what I need. Don't put me here. I don't need that. Give me some more. Exactly.
Planter would rather use soil, but you're in Georgia, Planter. You're in Georgia. We in the north with the ice cold.
Planter
once moringas move from one place to another, the leaves drop.
Well, okay. Is it fine being transplanted, G Mama? Because it's been transplanted already once. It did fine. It grew. It looked beautiful, and I think it's the nutrient thing. And I was like, So I'm probably going to do that today because I don't want to lose the plant. This is my first time growing it, so
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I really want it.
So yeah, you'll learn because I tried growing it before, and from my experience with it, I know exactly what to do because I planted it in a bigger pot this time. And if I have to transplant it at all it's going to be is me cutting the bottom out of that pot. I'm not going to touch the roots like that.
So you're saying put it in the big pot from the
From
beginning.
starting, yes, that's
Okay.
my experience.
So planter, if you have a minute, come up here then, because how
Okay.
you not get bugs? That's what I want to know.
I'll step down. I'll step
No,
down, guys.
it's up to you. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have
thank
another
you.
question. So I started my moringa in January because I figured it might take a while to grow. I never grown it before. I started it when I started my sorrel, and I know sorrel takes a long time.
Girl, that took 8 to 9 months.
And my sorrel plants are still looking really good. So, but I need to probably get something in there with those as well because they're just in the same type of that peat moss stuff. So
I had to give mine the fish. Well, I chose to give it the fish stuff, and that worked. They loved it because they weren't getting enough. They're heavy feeders. The sorrel,
okay.
heavy. When I started giving it the stuff, it was like shooting up even more, and started to flower. Because I wasn't getting no flowers in August. I'm like, what's going on? It's August. If I don't get flowers now, it's not gonna do nothing for Christmas. So I gave it heavily the fish stuff, and it was like growing, ballooning.
So my question is, like, is that a plant that needs a lot of time as well? The moringa.
Sorrel needs
not
real sorrel.
Moringa.
Yes, moringa's a long plant, and so is pigeon peas, sorrel, and moringa take a long time.
Okay.
And we're doing it in a non-tropical environment, so it's very difficult to keep them alive.
Exactly.
And I brought my sorrel inside, and it was white flies, gnats, potato bugs, powdery mildew. Like it was all these. It was too much because you can't recreate that environment in your house. It's very difficult. So I would have to get a grow tent to give it the breeze and the, all the simulation of an outdoor environment. And figure that out. But back to planter. I agree. Soil is better. It is better. I'm not saying it's not. It does a lot of the work for you, but I don't want it in my house. That's all I'm saying. Because I've had too much bug issues, and it's so embarrassing when people want to come over and then it's pure fly in the house. It just doesn't work in a when you have people coming over and it just looks like you're not keeping your place clean. Like you want to. Give them a drink and then see pure fly. Like it's just it doesn't work. So I have to separate my gardening life with real life because it's off-putting to people. I know what it is. You know what it is because you're a gardener too. But other people be like, "Yo, like what the hell is going on in here?" And you get a little side eye, and it's like, "No thanks. I'm not thirsty. I'm not hungry." Yeah. So but soil is better. Definitely better. But we can learn to grow in other mediums. We just got to figure it out. So this is a good conversation.
It is. That's why I wanted to pop up and ask my question because I was like, this is a good conversation that's already happening. And I'm really concerned about my plants because I was like, I knew that probably was the answer. I need to get it into soil where it can feed. Yeah, so I'll do that today. I'm trying to think of in my head.
But look at your plant. Like don't just like look at your plant, and if you see it's struggling, to give it the liquid feed, let it kind of bounce back first before you see how your plant looks. If you have a feeling that it's not going to take the shock very well of transplanting right now, just give it the food.
I think I can transplant this one without bothering any of the roots or anything because
good.
I just use these Dollar Tree containers. I'll just cut it along the side and open it and just let the whole plant go into a hole.
Okay, perfect.
I think I can transplant that without. I'm pretty good at not having problems when I transplant. With there being an issue with, I've been told on a lot of plants that don't like transplanting, and I've had success with all of them. And Fifi I transplant a lot of them.
Fifi saying her sorrel, okra, and pigeon peas are doing good. Yeah, they will do well. The problem is if people don't know how to make them grow to their full potential, they may stifle it with the size of the pot or the weather. Because I know I told my dad, I go, oh, I'm gonna make gunga peas. He goes, you know how long that take to grow gunga peas? Because he grew up growing gunga peas in Jamaica. It's like that takes a long time, and we're in Canada. And he's like you're crazy. But now he sees that we can do it, but it takes a lot of work to recreate it. But you have to put in the work because it takes moringa, gunga, they take a long time. Even okra, but they can grow okra, no problem. Start them inside early, give it the environment. So yeah, try that. Then transplant your moringa. I haven't grown mine yet. My seeds are in the bag still. I haven't put it because of the damn gnats. I said, forget it. I'm not doing nothing more inside until I get this under control. And the aphids kind of pop back. So once I get this under control, I have my sorrel to plant and the moringa, but they have to go in the garage for the end of the season to really, because when I brought them in the house, having that central heating on in your home, it just didn't balance. Like they didn't like it. They didn't like that, like central heating and the heat blowing on them, and then it was dry heat. Then it was like moist. They didn't like it. I could see the powdery mildew popping up. I'm like, eh. And I got a few sorrel, but it wasn't the ideal climate for the plant. It wasn't. They didn't like it.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure I do better for the moringa and the pigeon peas, because if I know they don't like it, there's no point of, I can germinate seeds. I know that. I know I can get seeds to thrive, but get them to the finish line is a different conversation.
Yeah, it is, because we have to. It's so much planning involved. It's stressful for us up there in these cold climate jobs, because we have to plan so far ahead and we have to do so many things inside. And I'm always trying to balance between starting something too early or starting something too late. That's why I was asking if it's moringa. If I was thinking maybe I started it too early, but now I see I really didn't start it too early. Maybe I just need to pivot and just get it into some healthy soil so that it can feed. So that's what I'm going to do today, and see in the next week if I start seeing some progression, because it was looking really good, and now it's struggling.
Bougie's asking when's a good time to start to feed the trees again. I don't know. I'll have to look that up, to be honest. So I don't
like
know
the
for
fruit
sure.
trees. I don't know.
But I think spring. I think spring is when they wake up. So you'd have to do your. I know we have to spray our apple trees right before the buds start really coming out, to spray them with that spray for like the bugs and the parasites and the cop, whatever, and then feeding them. I don't know. All I know is that I just look at the tree and watch the leaves, watch what's happening. But you're probably having a tree in a bucket. That's a different thing. So in a bucket, because my pear tree, let me look that up. My pear tree, I gotta feed that often, and the fig tree, because it's in a bucket. It can't get nothing from nowhere. So it's the fish emulsion. When
all my trees are in pots as well.
Fertilizing. Hold on, trees. Good old search engine. Let's see what pops up. It says here trees and shrubs should be fertilized in early spring, and the light fertilizer application can be made in early summer if conditions are conducive to plant growth. That is, reasonable temperatures and soil moisture. Well, if it's in a bucket, you have to do more than just twice, but it says here wet month. Apply early spring lawn fertilizer. Okay, that's lawn. What are you talking about, lawn? I'm talking about trees. It just says basically use high potassium K and phosphorus. That will help with the root structure. And it says fertilizing too soon can induce nutrient deficiencies. So based on what they're saying, I guess once you see the tree waking up, bougie. Oh, somebody, D-Macro, did you look it up already? you love a Google too. She look it up and pop it in. Okay, and G Mama saying Mother's Day. I wait for the tree to start waking up. When I see that starting to shoot out a little bit of buds, I give them some food. But mark you, My buckets are in an area that gets a lot of rain. So even now when it's snowing, the snow is going to melt into that bucket and give it those nutrients from the rainwater. So technically you're fertilizing it from before because it's getting the rainwater. Once it starts really waking up, I give it some all-purpose liquid feed.
Okay.
And I give it banana water. Doesn't have to be banana water, a compost tea like Dimu was saying. Get all your scraps and soak them up. And I'm going to be trying alfalfa pellets this year. I know some of you have used it before. I got some for the cluck clucks, so I'm going to mix it with their food, and I'm going to make a compost tea and water the plants and see if it makes a difference. And I think it will, because from what Hands in the Dirt was mentioning, he used that. James Franklin highly recommended that, and somebody else as well said it was like it's a good boost for the plants. No chemicals. It's easy to buy. It's very affordable. Like you can't lose. So I'll test it out and see if it makes a difference, and I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna try it with the fig tree as well and see, because that fig tree's only been getting rainwater, snow water. So hopefully, if I put the alfalfa pellets in the jug and shake it up and water her before I put her outside, I'll see like some more growth. But I'll let you know as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's okay. Let me see what other questions they have. But yeah, watch. I think the main thing that Planter was saying, and even Fifi, you have to watch your plants because they're talking to you. It's like you have your own little thing going on, and they'll tell you like, "Hello, I'm dry," or "Nope, you're watering me too much." We just got to learn to pay attention, because sometimes you'll ask somebody a question and they'll give you the right answer, but it's not right for your plant. It's not what's actually happening, and you're not gonna know until you start digging a little deeper. Like someone told me about the pineapple, and then when I picked up the plant and looked at the roots, I realized the gnats weren't gone. They stopped going from the top; they were going from the bottom, hiding and eating all the roots of the pineapple. And the pineapple was just dying. Oh, you're overwatering. Oh, you're underwatering. Oh, you need to give it food. And I did all that, and it was still dying. That wasn't the problem. It was being attacked from the soil, and I couldn't see it until I picked it up. So I had to throw it in the garbage because it was past the point of no return. When I picked it up from the soil, you could see it was all just like gone.
Yeah.
And it had a strong root system at first. But sometimes you think the answer is the answer. Sometimes it's not the answer. Unfortunately,
Right.
you have to make sure you're digging deeper.
Right. That's true. Well, I'm about to go into this store, so I'm gonna step down back into the
No
chat.
problem.
I'll be listening, but I will try to get it rectified this today and see how it does during the week.
Okay, let us
you,
know on
guys.
your Friday faves. All right, sorry, Frugal Fridays.
Yes, Frugal Fridays. Yes. See you later.
See you later. Okay, let me get another drink because this is finished. Let me see what D Macro is saying. A series of small houseplants I've purchased and have died. I learned not to think only about the frequency of watering. Yeah, sometimes it's not water. Or sometimes it could be the drainage as well, because some of us don't have the proper drainage in our plants. You buy a pot with no drainage hole and think, oh, it's fine. No, you have to use an inner pot at least so that it can drain. Let me find some things on Instagram that I saved that were interesting to me, that not even about gardening. Give me a second to find them. Oh, for those of you who are doing the there's several contests going on, not contests. The raw vegan challenge. I don't know. Is anybody on doing the raw vegan challenge with Juicing with Jay? Let me know with a thumbs up or a hands up in the chat. He's doing it for 30 something days. I'm not doing that because I told him straight up, but I am doing some more meals that are vegan, and it's going well. It forces you again to find other recipes that are vegan or highly raw. Vegan is not the problem. It's the highly raw part that's the problem. And it's a lot of chewing. Oh, and the lashes for sure is doing it. But he sent a video. He tagged me in a video that he did last year with the sushi wraps. I think they call them nuri, whatever the name is. And I do like that taste. It tastes like tuna fish. So if you like fish, but you're vegan, that will give you that. Now I know why people put that in their shredded carrots to make a fake tuna, because you have that same. I'm like, damn, this is good. I put bean sprouts, radish sprouts, and broccoli sprouts with shredded carrots. You haven't started. You better start, G Mama. You better start. Carrots. I put last night I cheated. I put a bit of tzatziki on it, but whatever. And I put spring mix, and I put some cabbage, and I rolled it up. Now, mind you, I'm a heavy bread eater, so 1 and 2 is not gonna hold me. I need about 3 or 4 wraps to really keep me satiated. Otherwise, I'm gonna just keep nibbling, and you don't want to keep nibbling. But I'm telling you, it's not. Last week I mentioned to you guys about the inflation and how expensive it was at the store. I'm like, oh my God, I was like in shock. It was unbearable. So I went back to the wholesale cash and carry place. My sister's like, oh, you want to go to the store? I need to go get some stuff. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll go, because whatever, I'll go for the ride. And I went to the secondary location that hasn't really been stocked. So they did get more stock. So I'm like, okay, this actually looks decent. I got blackberries for 50 cents a container. I got strawberries for $2, which is usually about $4 and $5 at the regular store on clearance. I got 2 watermelons. Each of them was $4.99 or $4.90. Watermelons right now are off season, so that's about $8 to $10 in the regular store. And celery and some other stuff. So I made some watermelon juice. I made, for the raw vegan, I made, green juice. I made carrot and golden beets, like all kind of stuff. And I was just drinking ginger. I got a big old bag of ginger for clearance, the organic one. So I'm like, and again, I had mentioned, hey, Cassandra, I had mentioned that maybe a few months ago now. We need to pivot and find different places to shop, because the regular stores are not where it's at. Now, the cash and carry place that I went to is only for a business. But if you have somebody that has a business and they're registered with that company, all I have to do is quote their phone number and I can go and shop. They don't ask me for ID. They don't ask for a photograph. It's just, but if you have a business, it doesn't have to be a food business. It could be, knitting sweaters business. You are entitled to be a part of that cash and carry. So again, let me recommend to you all, check out your local cash and carry and wholesale places. If you have a business or somebody else has a business that you would qualify for, like right now I see Renaissance Grandma on my screen. So Renaissance Grandma has a business. She would probably qualify for shopping there. And maybe once a month you go there. And I was pleasantly surprised. The blackberries were a bit like ready to go over the edge, so I had to use them right away. But the strawberries were sweet, no bad ones in there. The greens were great. The watermelons were fine because they have a really cold cooler. And it's just, I got some good deals. So even though the inflation is bad, I'm talking it's bad, and the produce is very expensive. If you are more inventive with how you shop, I can't get this crunchy peanut butter out of my house. I buy peanut butter, but I haven't bought sweetened peanut butter in years. My peanut butter is always the natural, unsweetened, unsalted peanut butter. And I usually like the crunchy one as well. And once you get used to the taste, you really don't need sugar. Like the sugar in the peanut butter is ridiculous. And again, sugar is very addictive. That's how they hook you. There's nothing wrong with peanut butter. It's the brand that you choose to buy. I love peanut butter. I can't do raw. Oh, because of reflux. Yes. So that's why I told Jay, I'm like, I can't do it for the month, because I know for me, I do need some cooked food or steamed food. And you have to know your body. You do have to know your body, because some people will say, I'm not with all these extremes, like, oh, all raw or all, listen, cook some food, have some raw, have some juice. Like, variety is a spice of life. I'm not going to sit here and chew. Like, I honestly don't want to chew my food all the time. Sometimes you want to have some soup. Sometimes you want to have, like, really? You know how much chewing to chew that vegetable wrap? My goodness. My teeth had to be strong. Anyways, but find a cash and carry in your area. And it doesn't just have to be like, the Costco's, the Sam's Clubs are good. They have some good deals when you buy things in bulk as well. But I'm talking about the ones that service like restaurants or those like corner shops. They buy their supplies from particular places and then they mark up the prices. If you can tap into that network, because we all remember, well, some of you will remember when the pandemic hit, they said there was no supply, but then the restaurant supply chain had all these supplies and nobody to purchase them. So a lot of stuff was thrown away. Tap into that other market. I mentioned it months ago, but I forgot. But I'm like, oh yeah, I got all my stuff last week and I spent the same amount in this different store a few days earlier, and I had a few items. From the cash and carry, I had a whole bunch of items. For peanut butter. Yeah, peanuts are I've never grown peanuts, but I've gone to the either the health food store or even a bulk barn. And there's a machine you can throw your peanuts in. Well, they're peanuts, and you can make crunchy or smooth peanut butter. And you pay by the weight, and there's no salt in it. You can put your own sea salt in it if you like a little bit of salt. But usually I make my toast peanut butter, and you sprinkle a bit of salt on top, especially the what do you call that salt? The one that's coarser and for like finishing salt, sea salt, of course. Tastes nice. That's bussin'. That's bussin'. Um, it's expensive, Miss GFS, which is restaurant store. Well, when I say restaurant, I don't mean, there's high end restaurants and there's the lower. Maybe I'm going to the lower grade one, but the one is it's very affordable. I can buy 3 celeries for the same price as buying like one at the store. Because when I went to go buy a celery at the other store, it was like $5. I got 3 for the same $5 at the cash and carry. The only thing that's not cheap sometimes is the melons, like the cantaloupes, the honeydew melons. You have to buy a whole case, and I don't need a whole case. Then they have like fennel. I like fennel for my green juices. The kale is cheap. The spinach is cheap. Cilantro, parsley is cheap, and I get a huge bag. It depends. You still gotta price. Carrots are cheaper there because I can buy a 50-pound bag for $20, and you'd be surprised that can give me enough juice for several weeks for 4 people. Because a 10-pound bag can give me enough juice for 4 of us for me 3 days because I drink 2 a day. They take their time, but yeah, figure out what's the best option, and but there, and then sometimes these wholesale places have clearance. So I went to the clearance rack and I got a lot of stuff from the clearance rack. Oh, you have to have a restaurant to shop there. I got in because I have the person's phone number, and all they ask for is the phone number. They don't ask me for no ID. I just give them the phone number. Oh, you're from so? Yep, that's where I'm from. I'm not, and I buy stuff. That's how it's gonna have to work. I was talking to my friend, and it was actually irritating to me because I was like, it was irritating because you think, well, I thought somehow because I'm, talking to you guys who in the prepping community that I had an uptake or I had a better perspective than somebody who's not even into prepping at all. So I'm talking, okay, this, that, and the third. And then she was like, that's not going to work. I was like, who are you talking to? Like, ah. And then she said basically, and she's right. Cause now that we're talking some more, I'm doing prepping for me and my immediate family as if it's just going to be us. And she's like, there's no way you're going to survive, number one. And number two, you may think you're doing it for yourself, but other people are going to come. They're coming, especially when they know you grow. Like they're coming. Hey, Miss Ellen Pankey. They're coming. And they're coming down your door. They're going to force it. Like we kind of talked about that in different chats in some form or fashion, but they're coming. And when people are hungry, it's not cute. And I was like, how dare she be talking and telling me this stuff like as if she knows. She don't even prep. She don't even do nothing. And it's funny because it's like the game or the show Survivor. There's people that you think they haven't done nothing. They haven't prepped. They haven't done any of the stuff. but they're very good negotiators. They're very good at reading people, and they understand human behavior. And sometimes those people have the long game in mind, and they will survive probably better than those of us who hear canning and freezing and dehydrating and freeze drying. They're just gonna and it's back to that whole topic of wolf preppers. Not everybody is a actual wolf prepper. Like, they're not going out with that intention of just taking your stuff, but there's gonna come a point where you're gonna have to, whether it's voluntary or not, you're gonna have to share, because if you don't share, you're gonna decrease your survival rating, because now you're gonna alienate people. So either you're gonna have your stuff really hidden and undercover and really low down, or you're gonna have to start working with people from now. And that's what we were talking, and I had to kind of change and say, okay. And most of you are on the same page. You have your village, you have your group, but I have to have a village and I have to have a group, because I'm like, then I don't need them people there. Man, I gotta hide up my little chicken there, have my little eggs, have my little food. I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna this, that. You can't be everywhere all the time. You're gonna have to have your village, and you're gonna have to be preparing in a way that you're gonna have extra to share, because they are coming. They're coming to your house. They're coming to they have nowhere to stay. They need food. They need shelter. They need, and you're gonna have to find people who can be an asset. Back to my family, asset versus a liability. And I've been going through just focusing on my Fab 4, my Fab 5, but in all reality, that's not enough. You need to have a 20 people or whatever a group is, that each have their own strengths. And you can't, because this is the problem. I was telling her, I was like, if you tell one person something, it's the same as telling 25 people, because people love chat, and they're going to mention it in passing. They're going to say, oh, she has all these trees, or oh, she has animals, or oh, she's off the grid, whatever the thing is. Hey, executive sessions. And somehow it's going to leak to other people that you don't even know. And before you know it, people are coming looking for help from you because they heard. And that's the problem. There is no keeping it under wraps unless you're just literally keeping it to yourself. Even your own children will talk to their friends. Oh, my mom has, dad has this, that, and the third, or whatever. Like, people just talk and people take note. And when ish hits the fan, they're going to remember, oh, yeah, they grow food, or oh, they have a 3 acres. Oh, they have, I can put my tent over there. I can, Bougie will come with her 4-person tent and come and park and over it. Wow, what are you doing over here? Are you going to tell Bougie to leave? No, because Bougie has Black Beauty, and she might pull up Black Beauty, and before you know it, you're staring down a barrel of Black Beauty, and you're in big trouble. So you're going to have to just make it work. This is the kind of things that she was talking about. And I'm like, you know what? You're actually right, unfortunately. And I was kind of vexed. I'm like, how dare you tell me all these sensible things when you don't even prep? So she was laughing. Like, just because people don't prep doesn't mean that they can't survive. And that's the funny thing. Sometimes those people will survive longer than the people who are prepping, because they don't understand human behavior. And you can't cut off your nose to spite your face. So you're going to have to learn to work with people who just come up, just show up, and figure out their assets, their deficiencies, and make it work, because you can't tell them to leave. Because the same way how they found their behind at your property or wherever you're stationed, other people are going to be coming. And that's the problem. So I had to sit down and pivot and say, what's the plan? And it's better to start making that plan now and incorporating people in your core group, because that's the problem. Good point. Prepping isn't only about preservation of food, but also the logistical planning and telling you, dealing with people's personalities, infighting, politics and politricks. My friend, she doesn't can. She doesn't have any of these. She has none of that stuff. None of that stuff. She wants to start growing a garden now, but she's if she's prepping, she's really living a double life, because I haven't seen nothing in terms of prepping. I haven't seen her gardening. She wants to get into hydroponics now because I'm doing it. But it's just, there are some people who are just good at dealing with people. They're good negotiators. They're good at reading people. Oh no, it's not an eggplant. Ask Bougie. Black Beauty is is not that. Um, it's not that. I'll leave that to her, but it's definitely not an eggplant. So and just figuring out what we're gonna do, because if you don't know how to deal with people in any way in life, in a company, that's why some of us don't like corporations, because the politics are just too much. There's always going to be people and personalities, and I know more than you, and no, we should do it this way, and then you have to have a democracy and it's like you went from having your own thing going on, and now there's 10 other people, and now you have to have a board meeting. Like, it's like, but you have to do that, because if they know where to find you, they know what you have, that's more dangerous for you. So you have to kind of keep your enemies closer than your friends, basically, is the saying. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, so that you know what they're doing and you know their next move. And I'm thinking about it and how to adjust, because I don't really like people. I don't like having conversations. I'll stay solo so I can do what I want in my kind of way, and we'll connect when we need to connect, and we can trade and barter, but it's not really going to work like that at all. So I had to I'm rethinking the thinking, because we're going to have each person in the collective who's doing something and doing something well. Somebody may be good at canning, preserving, freeze drying. If the power goes out, do you know how to preserve the old fashioned way? I don't. Someone's going to have to be, hunting, firearms, crossbows, the old fashioned ways, you know, um, dispatching an animal, the cleanup. Like, there's all these layers. You need a community, and that's what we need to do. And where are we all going to go? Who has the land? Who has where's the space? We need to figure that stuff out now. And I wasn't really focusing on that, to be honest. I'm like, worry about my little self and my immediate family, and everybody else can go suck a lemon. And no, it's not going to work that way, because as we all know, they're going to take, or they're going to cry, or you're going to feel bad because there's children, or it's not going to be so cut and dry. So instead of putting myself in that situation, let me figure out how to add more people to the collective, and figure out what people are good at, and start doing an inventory of people, and building friendships with a motive of, what are you going to be able to help me with in the future? What are you going to be able to help me with if people are off grid, underground? How can we help each other? How can we benefit? I can benefit from you, and you can benefit from me, because everything in life is about give and take. There's no two ways around it. Give and take. And you're either going to be willing to give, or they're just going to come and take it. So you have to find ways to negotiate. So we were talking, and she taught me a lot, because this is the point. She's in a corporate job, and she has to deal with a lot of office politics. And people may think, oh, she just worked at a desk. But those experiences make you sharper and easier to read people. She can tell, she's very friendly, but she can tell you, don't trust that person. Don't turn your back. And she'll be like, how you do it? And she knows how to play the game and fake it till you make it. And that fake smile that I'm definitely not good at. That's why I don't like the corporate world. I'm not fake. I'll tell you your breath stink, and what you gonna do about it? Who go check me, boo? If I don't like you, I don't like you. I'm not gonna pretend to be all, oh yeah, how was your weekend? Oh my God, girl. I don't do none of that, because I don't care about your weekend, and you don't care about my weekend. Let's just stop pretending that we're friends and get the work done and go back home to our families. But she's good at playing that game, and there's something to be learned about that, because it takes a high level of emotional intelligence to do what she's doing. She knows how to play the game and play nice, but she knows that she can't trust you. There is strength in numbers. Everyone bring exactly. You have to have a numbers. And some of us are not people persons. I'm not a people person. I like my small group, but I'm friendly. I'm cool. Most people do like me, but I'm not really a people person. I'm not one to be in a crowd of people. I don't like people. I don't want to hear other people's opinion. But that's not going to work. That's not going to fly. And not even SHTF. It's not going to fly in just, a natural disaster or just something. It's not going to fly. So you need to figure out how to play nice. Yeah, you need how to play nice, how to negotiate and influence people. That is the name of the game. Because no matter how much preps you have, you're not an island unto yourself. You're going to have to work, socialize, negotiate, share, barter. You're going to have interactions with other people. You're going to have to learn to read people, know who to trust, not to trust. And sometimes the people that you can't trust are actually the most helpful. So you have to just learn these skills. And a lot of people, that's why they kind of work on their own. They want to be entrepreneurs. They just can't deal with all this office politics. And trust me, I don't disagree. I hate the office politics. I hate having to, the he said, she's, oh my God. I was just like, geez. It was making me sick. It was making me toxic. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't wait to get out of that environment. And, oh, hey, Planter. And I had to change my mentality. Hey, Planter, what's going on?
Yeah, how you doing? What's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm there. Hey, Tree Rogi. Hey, again, I don't like people, but people. Yeah,
I was walking some walk.
Yeah. So I was asking you earlier about the I agree that soil is always better, but and you said you grow in the north, but my problem is I said I don't want the bugs, and the bugs them come from the soil. So I was asking different ones, okay, well, what are you doing? Because no matter what I do, the bugs are coming from the soil. They don't come from the coconut coir. They don't come from the peat moss, but they come from the actual soil, which is why I keep the soil now outside. I don't bring it in my house.
Okay. But from my experience, right? My experience, the only soil I use is soil from my garden, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for my experience, I really don't have the bug problem. And I've been doing this for years now. I don't know if it's the way how I deal with my soil. I don't really put too much thing in my
maybe
soil.
it is.
So I really don't got that problem. And I do it in the north as well. I did it in the north as well. And the north is more challenging.
Yes.
But I never had bug problem because somehow or the other, I just don't like to add things to my soil. So I don't know if certain thing you add to your soil create certain bugs. But
maybe you're right. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's a deeper problem.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because I'm relying on the store-bought bag of soil. It's not like I'm bringing in my native. I'm bringing in you buy seed starting mix or you buy whatever mix, and that's what I'm using. The only problem I did have that was my problem was when I brought the plants in from outdoors to overwinter, the sorrel, and I brought certain plants in the house. I sprayed them down, I brought them in, and when I take a stock, potato bugs was coming out the bottom of the bucket, and plant bugs were living in the pot. So I don't know what is going on. Maybe my area is just a lot of bugs, but I buy the bag dirt and it's the same problem. And my plants, sometimes it's not the bugs flying around the house. Sometimes the bugs are eating the roots of the plant. And then by the time you figure out it's a bug problem, not a watering problem, the plant dead. So I don't know.
I don't have.
I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the problem. I'm telling you it's not no lie thing. But it seemed like I don't know. It's
no. Well, I understand your situation. I understand what you're going through. But the honest truth, I don't have that problem, and I'm using soil from my garden.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy the what they call them, the PMAS and these things. A matter of fact, I don't even know why people use these things. Soil, your soil.
Because we have bugs, that's why.
But, but the problem is, I do it in the north, I do it in the south, and I never have bug problem. So what I'm saying is, maybe it's stuff people putting in their soil, or the stuff you don't know what they're putting in them. You don't know where they come from. You have no idea.
I'm gonna have to dig deeper because exactly like maybe because I know you don't really use all the other stuff that we use. You don't use fertilizer. You don't use like you
Right.
just use compost and the natural stuff. So maybe these things are attracting a lot of bugs because I don't know. And my garden's only been a couple of years, to be honest. And I had to bring in a lot of dirt from outside to fill the bed. So I know I brought in stuff from outside. And I see a lot of, you have no choice because you don't have no good dirt. So you have to go buy dirt. So I brought in the dirt from, the bags and stuff. And I did bring in some, the beetles and all kind of invasive bugs, spider mites. I see, all them stuff there. So maybe something is attracting and they're breeding in the soil and laying a lot of eggs because I don't know. I find that over the winter, their eggs are dormant, and then once the spring comes, them all just wake up and revive. So they have to be laying eggs at some point, and I don't know when and where, but that is what's going on. I don't know if my soil is attracting them to lay their eggs because of the fish and whatever else I'm putting in there, but something's quite not right.
If you notice, you always hear me say, I'm not introducing nothing I don't grow. In my compost, in my it's because of all these things. I've been talking about these things for a while now. These things that we introduce to our garden bring a lot of bacteria, insect into our garden. And then sometimes we bring soil from other places into our garden. And these soils, like you now mentioned, have eggs.
Yep.
You see? And then you bring that into your garden. No, you bring bacteria that you don't need. So this is why I'm always clear about I'm not adding anything I do not grow into my soil for save all these problems.
Yeah. I think
the truth is,
I
don't have soil problem.
No, we know planter has no soil. We know that. Everybody knows that planter soil is the best soil in all of Georgia. But we try to get to your level because we already know most people. And someone's asking about Ontario. I live in a residential area, so you cannot compare the farmer's soil to like a residential regular backyard. Our soil here, no, they backfill your backyards and they level everything off with whatever crap. And when you go to dig now, it's nothing but clay. So I know you've had clay soil that you've worked on for years. And now I'm working on it with the leaf and the natural stuff. But I did bring in dirt, and I had even now I have to bring in more dirt because I have to fill the beds. Otherwise, I'm going to be waiting too long to start using those beds. So you kind of take the good with the bad. But I need to figure out how to clean the soil and the bug, whatever these populations are, and figure out what I need more predators, obviously, to kill up these eggs and kill these bugs. But there's a balance. Everything is about balance. And unfortunately, when you're starting in a residential area, you have to intentionally be in balance just to get the job done. And once you're doing it for a few years, it's good. But at the same time, I'm not staying here forever. The plan is to get a piece of land. So I'm going to have to start from scratch again. Hopefully the land is a good land with a good soil, but I'm going to have to start from scratch again. So I don't want to put too much time in making this land perfect here because I'm not staying here. So it kind of, most people have to take the good with the bad. I'm trying to make the best out of what I have now. I think your land is like you're going to stay. That's the land that you're staying. You're going to cultivate till you're old. I'm not doing that here. Definitely not. I want something that's more further out, like you have, more quiet and just, more natural. No cars coming up and down, no planes flying overhead, something that's a little bit more off the beaten path. So until that time, I'm not going to put too much effort into getting the soil here top notch. Hey, Cottonwood.
Okay. Well, what about with your raised bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
With your raised bed, what kind of the soil is hard and you have hard soil?
Underneath it, yeah, underneath the soil was tough and clay and rocky. So I
Oh.
put the raised bed up. I put down cardboard, some branches and limbs, small limbs. I filled the bed with leaves and let it rest for a year. Then the second year, I filled it with some bag soil and compost, cow manure, sheep manure, and regular garden soil. And I started growing in there. I don't know. This is the first winter it's having, but I'll see in the spring once if there's if the leaves are broken down. But I think the leaves are broken down. And I have two other beds, same thing. I fill them with leaves, let them sit for 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
and then this year I'm going to put soil on top of it and start to grow in those beds. So hopefully the soil that
Okay.
I bought the soil last year and I let it sit out in the backyard. So maybe that will make it like kill off anything that was in the bags. And I didn't open the bag right away. I let my bags them sit to make sure that the bags them don't have no bugs in there. Because all of the bags have bugs. No matter what they say, they lie. There's stuff in there. So I let them sit for a year over the winter in the freezing cold to kind of kill everything. And in the spring, I'll start back again fresh. But yeah, it was tough clay, like the construction site, when they just mow everything over and pound it down and then put some grass on top. It was like that. You can't dig it. If I dig a hole in there, I'll be digging for months and not get no hole. It's so tough
Mm.
and compact. So I put on top of that now my soil, my compost, and I'm gonna have the chicken soon. So then I'll have their manure and put in there and build back up the top of the lawn and keep going up. I'm not gonna go into the natural soil. It's garbage. Really, it's truly it's garbage. When I planted things in there, they were dying because the roots couldn't move in there. It
Mm.
was so compact that the roots. So when you told us to plant deep last year, I'm trying to dig to go down deep, and I couldn't really go down nowhere because I'm hitting solid clay. The
Mm.
shovel couldn't even go down there, so I had to just build it up higher to compensate for the depth because I couldn't dig no deeper. I think your soil now is more loose, right?
Okay. Yeah, my soil because I've been more loose because I've been walking on it. And what happened was my soil was rocky. It was actually rocky. But over the years, all I've been adding is like leaf and the weeds that grow up in the garden, and then the rotten tree trunk, and
Sorry, one
that
second, one second.
actually transformed.
Oh, she hung up the phone. All right, it's okay. Someone was
Yeah,
calling me
that's
from Florida.
actually transformed into soil mixed up with the clay. So now I could dig 16 inches down and still in sino clay because that thing
Yeah.
been mixing and blending over the years. So now it has transformed itself. So by me using that indoors, because this is natural product, natural stuff, indoors, I'm not getting the bug problem. So my thing is people should maybe people should start trying to look for more natural stuff, make their own compost during the garden year, run into the following year, and then save that, sift it out with a sifter, whatever you can use, and use it for your seed. I don't know. Well, I
I
can't
think
say that because
I think for
everybody is
me the
different.
problem was because I do compost, but the problem is my little compost bin is not enough to fill no beds. It can fill maybe one bed, but I have more than one bed. So
Mhm.
when people come and they start gardening, brand new to gardening, they want to just start. So they go and get the bags of dirt from wherever and they fill up their beds and they just start because they want to grow food. But they don't understand the long game, and unfortunately you're bringing things into your garden or your
Yep.
backyard that maybe you don't realize is more problematic. But if you wait till you have all the compost to fill your own bed, you never have no garden. So, and then not even just that, like to go and get soil from a company, it's loose soil. I don't have a pickup truck. I don't have a this. I don't have a that. So It's like you just have to make do with what you have. I have to go buy the bag. I can fit the bag in my trunk and I can bring them to the back myself. Anything else would be hiring someone to come and do it. So I don't know how you did it. Like, did you have machinery or did you just dig the soil yourself by hand with your kids them and
No,
say, go dig some hole and go put some. So you did it by
no,
yourself.
I did it all by myself because I just want it a certain way. So only
Mhm.
me could have do it the way I want it. I couldn't hire nobody because I don't believe they want to do it the way I want it. So I did it all by myself, but it did not happen overnight.
Mhm.
It's a process. So for new gardeners, what I will tell the new gardeners, I understand you want to grow food. And sometimes it might be surprising that the soil you have in your backyard, you have good soil. You have
Mhm.
absolutely beautiful soil, but because of what you see, you believe that you got to go and get compost from the store and soil from here. Actually, decent soil in your backyard. So I believe
Mhm.
people got to start to use the soil they have in their backyard first before going and buy other
Buying,
things.
yeah.
Because I've seen it with my own eyes. People have good soil and neglecting the good soil they have and go buy other things to put in their raised bed when all they have to do is wake up that soil they have there and just plant in the ground. So what I will
You're
say,
yeah,
try
that's
your
true.
soil,
In
your
some cases,
backyard
yeah.
soil first.
Mhm. That's what I'm gonna do, but just not here. Cause I done already like did what I did here. So that ship already sailed. But when I get a piece of, go somewhere else more in the country, I'm definitely gonna see what the natural native soil is and make use of the native soil because I would rather get something in a more agricultural neighborhood where people were like growing food and farming, then I kind of know that the soil will be healthier. I don't want another regular subdivision where they just throw everything in the backyard, pound it down and put lawn on top of it. I want something in a farming neighborhood. But somebody mentioned that they get compost from this local zoo and other companies here. But this is the problem, not the problem. You have to go and do it yourself, and some of us don't have the physical ability to. I can do it with some help, but you have to always ask people for help, and they don't want to. Oh, they're busy or whatever, and it's like it becomes very burdensome. But I've done it, and that's what taken me so long because I have to do it by myself for the most part. Um, and drop it off on the bed of a truck for you at around $100. Yes, I got some compost, and then not the problem, but the concern is for some people, some farms, I could get manure from certain farms, and you have to make sure you know what they're feeding their animals because whatever they feed their animals, that's what's putting in your garden. And if they're feeding them GMO and all kind of chemicals, sprayed hay that was sprayed with chemicals, it could be problematic. So there's so many things that you have to concern with. I remember somebody's a circus would give away poop. Yep, I have to find ways of getting free manure, free nutrients that will give me the results that planter garden have because he have a piece of land like natural land and he has fallen trees and stuff in the back and you have to just find a way to bring that yeah, that's not contaminated, make sure it's not.
Yes, and
Mushroom compost is the best.
okay, okay. Let me say this before I leave.
Hmm.
I can't tell anyone how to grow their food. You use the resource you have. Whatever you can use, you use. But if you have the ability to get certain things, natural, you should go for it. Why I would not, I cannot tell you guys don't go to the zoo for compost and don't go where. You do what you
Hmm.
gotta do. I wouldn't do it for certain reason because all these animals take certain pills, they take the feed they eat, all that ending up in
Right,
their
yeah.
poop, in their compost. The reason why my garden is like this is because of discipline and patience. I
Hmm.
refuse to add certain things to the soil because I already know what could happen, the outcome in the long run. Sometimes you could take a lot of bacteria from these places in your garden, what you really don't need. Then you have big problem. Then you got to be
So you chip out there.
spray, destroy your garden at the same time. So
Yeah.
I just want to say that
You have
try
to,
to
yes,
do it
and
as
that's good
natural.
advice. You
And
have to be cautious.
yes,
Because
yes.
what you want
If
in your
you
garden and what they're
want a
giving
good
you.
garden,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, if you want a good garden, you got to set up yourself, being patient and discipline yourself. Don't get distracted by too much thing you see on TV, because you will end up using them and you don't even know about them. Anything you add into your soil, you should know about them. You see what you see? You should do your research and know about, because they will mess up your soil in the long run. Okay?
Yeah, no
So
shortcuts is
happy
basically what
gardening,
you're saying. No
everyone.
shortcut.
No shortcut. No shortcut.
Thank you, Planter.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
And
always. You're
happy
welcome.
gardening, everyone. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All
Let me
right.
see the chat now. Fifi saying, quick tip. When we built our home, bad soil was brought in. We covered it with wood chips and added chicken compost and natural materials. But it takes time and it works. Please plan ahead. So this is what same thing Planter's saying. It takes time for things to break down. And a lot of us want things, to start growing right away. Earthworms compost is great. Yes, I see people using that. I think G Mama has a vermiculture bin, and there's a guy is AJ's. He has a worm channel. I'm thinking about getting a worm bin in the garage this year that can stay in the garage even over the winter, and get the worm castings, because at least I know what's in that. And as some of you may know, yeah, he's talking about steroid stuff in the manure from other people's animals when you don't know what they're feeding their animals. I have chicken farm down the road and they will give me free chicken manure for free, but it's not fully okay, it's not fully broken down. That's fine. I would love to take that. Well, I'm getting my own chickens now. And you just let it break down in a hot pile. Oh, Fifi's leaving? Okay. I think Fifi someone's saying goodbye to Fifi. But thanks for all for rolling through. I'm gonna end soon because I know I can be long-winded. Give me a second here to catch up with the chat. Greetings to you, Sandra, living a full life. I think Fifi said goodbye. I'm not sure, but I see D Macro saying something. I brought clearance garden soil from W, $2 a bag. I swear nothing is thriving. I'm telling you. That's why I had to mix it up with compost and manure and so. So Fifi has chickens, and a lot of you have chickens. I can only speak to the people I've been seeing recently. Maybe you all have chickens too, but has chickens, and I see how other people use their compost. I'm getting some birds. My aunt was a farmer. She's passed on, but we used to get like stuff from her farm. And I know what she was feeding her animals. Even though I didn't know, I was young, I knew she was doing things a natural way. So she would bring bags of cow patties and bags of sheep, in the these bags, farm bags, and then you just dump it in your garden. And every time they would come down or they're gonna be in the area, if my dad wanted some manure or some hay, we get hay from them to cover the beds. We knew where it was coming from. But I don't have that connection. So I mentioned a few months ago, and I am going to be making some connections with some farmers in a few different areas around me, north side, the west side, the east side, and get some connections with actual people and build a relationship with them so that I can get manure. I can get even seeds. We can trade stuff. I can get compost. I can whatever I need and buy produce directly from them, tree cuttings, whatever. I don't know why I thought you were no. And get that connection, because that's definitely what's missing, because my parents had that connection with actual farmers. My cousin had a connection where he would go into the field after the potatoes were picked by the machine, and anything that was missed by the machine or too small for the machine, he could pick them up for free or for like little and nothing. So we would get like huge bags of potatoes for free or for like $1, and we would put them in the garage to keep cool, and you would have potatoes all winter long. Um, and now that people are canning or freeze drying or whatever they're doing to preserve food, you could, or you could just give it away to people and share with people. Or if you're industrious, you can sell them for like, 50 cents or $1 for a bat, like whatever, make a little money for your time and effort. But having a farmer that you're connected with is very important for those of us who live in the urban setting. You can't just be relying on the stores. That has been a gap in my current planning, and I'm going to definitely rectify that. So I will be making the connections with farmers to purchase produce from them, purchase meat, whether it's turkey, chicken, beef, lamb, maybe even goat, whatever, is available. Learning if I need to get eggs to incubate. Somebody I know mentioned that to me. I'm like, oh, really? My ears just went up. And I'm going to make a connection with her to make a connection with the farmer so that if I need to get eggs, like I cannot have a rooster here. But if I need to keep my chicken population young and fresh, young and tender, and have young hens coming in, and then the old ones I dispatch. I don't know how that's going to work because they're pets, but you got to do what you got to do because I can't have an infinite number of birds here. I can incubate them myself if I have a connection with a farmer. I went online to look up hens. I've been looking for hens for months, and I ended up going directly to a hatchery. The online market, Facebook and Kijiji and all the different online markets. I went on again this week and it says they're selling chicks for $15 a piece. I said, hell no. So my friend's like, why not? I'm like, because she doesn't know about this stuff. I go, no. Chicks are supposed to be like $2-3, $1.50, $2, maybe $3. Because you got to feed them for 6 months before they can lay an egg. Why am I paying $15 for a chick that I have to still feed for 6 months when I just bought a ready to lay pullet for about $15? And yes, it's expensive, but you got to weigh the pros and the cons. Same with gardening, same with your soil. You have to weigh the pros and the cons, the good with the bad. I'm going to pay now or I'm going to pay later. I'd rather pay now and get a ready to lay chicken. You don't have to buy all your chickens as little chicks. And oh, the cute little chicks and they're so fluffy and nice. All I'm thinking of is I got to feed that thing for 6 months before I get any return on my investment. So for me, hell to the nah. Even if I got chicks for $1, $1.50, it's still my time. Now, I'm not willing to do that. $7 for a ready to lay pullet? Yeah, it's $15. And last year wasn't much difference. So, and if you want a fancy bird, like I want to get the silver lace Wyandotte, forget that. She was so I got 3 kinds of birds, 2 sex links, 2 different colors, and another bird. And about $17.50 for 2, and the other, for ready to lay. So at least I'm gonna get eggs not too long after they get here. But to chicks, so you gotta weigh the good with the bad. You gotta do your math, because even though, let's just say this, we all know, I think GT knows, he's the most recent person I know who has birds. It's not necessarily going to be cheaper. Your eggs are not going to be cheaper, but they will be better quality, and you will be less reliant on the store. And as I said before, you're getting compost. They're going to eat the bugs in your garden, in your land, and you're going to have less bugs or invasive bugs. Chickens give you a lot more than just the eggs that you're counting on, but it's not going to be cheaper. So that's, I don't know who's saying that, but it's not necessarily cheaper. But you can find a cheaper way to do it, because you don't have to be feeding them only, and you should not be feeding them only bag food. And you may say, well, you don't even have birds. How dare? Listen, I'm not minafufu. You don't. It's like, do you give your newborn babies only packaged formula? There ain't nothing in there. You have to give them food, nutrients, breast milk preferably. If you cannot, people used to make oatmeal porridge and make it watered down, sea moss. They did some natural things to give the child the nutrients. Same with any animal. You can't just give them bag food. $7 for baby chicks and 39 for ready to lay head. $39. That's well for you. Then it makes more sense to get the chick. Well, maybe not, because how much is the food in Alaska? You have to. You gotta do the math, but it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. But you're self-sufficient. I have 2 gold lace Wyandottes, beautiful birds. I'm telling you, the birds. Some of the birds are pretty. They're not cheaper, but at least you're independent. And trust me, chicken manure is not cheap. So if you have chicken manure and people want to buy it or trade you for it, or you give it for free, and you have some kind of symbiotic thing going on, like they give you something, and that is what it's coming down to. And you're not going to get that kind of thing with just nothing. You have to have something. Backyard ecosystems are, yes, you have to make your own ecosystem. And that's what I'm working on. It ain't cheap. And a lot of people I'm watching, I think y'all watched Led this week, feeding them other things, and people have a lot to say. All I know is the only time I knew about chicken feed in Jamaica, that is when I went back, my uncle used chicken feed to feed his meat birds. And like most of you feed them for so many weeks, and then you take them to market, you put them in the freezer camp, and you sell them as meat, or you sell them as live birds, and the people then go and dispatch them themselves. Over there it's a bit different. Some people want to do the dispatching themselves. They want it fresh. Some people want to buy a frozen one from the freezer. But that's the only time I really know about chicken feed. Other than that, your egg laying birds just went around the yard and pick and peck, and you give them the kitchen scraps and the garden scraps, and you plant certain plants. That's how it was. So I don't know why everyone's in an uproar because people are saying I feed my birds Swiss chard and rice and peas and whatever. Like, I don't know what you guys eat, but what's so shocking about that? I didn't know about bag. We don't buy bag dog food in Jamaica. Well, my uncle doesn't. You know how expensive dog food is? And you're on a limited income in Jamaica? You feed your dogs your kitchen scraps, your bones from your plate. As soon as you're finished eating the dinner and the dogs hear the plate clanking, they're at the door waiting for you to throw them the bones. That's what they ate. We give our dogs cornmeal and turn. I don't know why people are in an uproar. How do you think people in other countries feed their pets? They can't afford bag food. You must be mad. So now you see why I have a roux. I want to eventually hatch my own. Do you find that collar working, Fifi? Is that collar working? Exactly. Prices are high and they're getting higher. And your income is not getting any higher. I think we all can feel the pinch. And even though we're not as, bad as developing countries, your income isn't going up to match the inflation rate. So you need to find ways to make it cheaper. Now that I have grown chickens from 2 days old, I prefer that way. I like watching them. Oh, you like watching them grow? Yeah, I'm going to do that in the future, but as of right now, hell to the no. I need to get ROI, return on investment. And then when I get chicks the second time, I'll be getting eggs, and then the new ones will be coming up, and I'll have to incorporate them. But some of the old birds gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to go to the free, because I cannot, unless I have a piece of land by that time, then no, they can all stay. But if it's a me still being here, they're gonna have to go because it's gonna be too much. I don't have enough room to keep adding to the number, and it's gonna be more noisy, and I'm gonna be more noticeable, and my neighbors might have a problem. So I have to be very conscientious. Good morning, and so good chicken. I heard about good morning, Lark's Homesteadish. I heard about that. It makes it go further by making. That's what people are talking about. I definitely heard about fermenting the chicken feed. It's very interesting to me. And the only time I will not do that is if on a vacation, then I'll let the people them just feed them the usual way. What I did see, I saw one lady's channel. I can't remember her channel name, but I watched. It's a lady, and she lives in a very cold climate. If it's not Alaska, it's somewhere just as cold. And she mixes her feed. She buys the bag feed, but she mixes it with like oats, wild bird seed, black sunflower seeds, cayenne pepper, oregano for like, natural medicinal things, corn, all these different ingredients that she buys independent that's cheaper, and then she mixes it, makes a good mix. I think she puts lentils in there, split peas, um split there's split peas, the green ones and the pinky ones. I don't know the difference. I think one's like whatever, you know what it is. But I think they're split mung beans, and one is just a split lentils. And she mixes a whole mix, and then that's what she feeds her birds, as well as free ranging and so forth. So I'm watching people. I'm going to be trying it. The fermenting, I'm definitely going to try. I'm just not sure of how she ferments her food as well. This lady, yes, and she has it in 3 jugs, and then like one day it's this one, the next day, and she has it on rotation. And her bags of feed last her for, if not 6 months, it maybe even a year, because she mixes it all together and makes this mega mix, and then her bag food goes further. Yeah, the meat bird formula is different. That's the only time I've ever heard them eating having bag food. I guess when you grow them as chicks, they become used to you, and yeah, you they're your pets. They're like, those are your, your little, those are your pets when you grow them from young. Same as you did. They're more friendly that way, and not so. Yeah, they're more friendly. I guess I'm gonna have mean birds. I think I'm gonna have. I think I might have mean birds. We call them Angry Birds. That cartoon. I may have Angry Birds, but they're gonna have to adjust because they gotta come to work. Ain't no free lunch over here. My neighbor feeds his chickens all organic veggies, freshly grown, kale, strawberries, etc. Gives me fresh eggs, $5. That's a good price. $5 dozen for naturally grown eggs. My grandmother bought 1 bag of feed when she bought her chicks. The rest came from the yard. Yeah, I don't know. I think we've been conditioned to listen to the media so much that in one generation, the farming techniques is just like, where did you get this from? Nobody was buying no bag, nothing. We couldn't afford that. I took the collar off. I can't do it. My conscience won't allow me to restrict Rue. It works, but needs to be readjusted often because Rue tries to take it off. So I guess your neighbors are okay with it, with the cackling. I hope they're okay, because I know mine would not be. They would call the authorities from a long time. That's why I'm afraid of that. No, the macro, you cannot keep a rooster on the down low. They're gonna crow. So she had the collar on so that they couldn't crow so loud. It's like restricting them. So that's what she's saying. She cannot in good conscience um like have a almost like a velcro chokehold on him so that he can't crow so loud. I'd rather not ferment. I learned that it diminishes the nutrients that the bird needs, but I heard that it increases the viability of the nutrients, Fifi. I heard the complete opposite. So I don't know where you get me to dig deeper with that one. I'll have to dig again and see. I make the grain because they're saying when you ferment the food, they get more nutrients because it's like almost like you're almost going to sprout them, and sprouted grains are more nutrient dense than in their natural form. So I'm surprised you heard it diminishes. That's not what I heard. I'm simply trying to survive, and I have my rights. I'll be arguing with the higher up. Oh Lord. Let us know, because I know I'm not getting a roux. I can't get one. It's gonna be a problem. So I'm trying to connect with the farmer so I can buy fertilized eggs, and I would try to hatch them out in a incubator. But so that's where my plan is not really closed loop until I get my own property where I can do that in an agricultural setting. I cannot I'm not allowed to do that, so I have to rely on somebody selling me fertilized eggs. Can't leave worms outside in the winter. Gotta bring them inside. Forget a compost or use a file. I think they have a okay, I'll check that out. But I know they have some kind of vermicomposter unit, and the water goes to the bottom. It's like I don't know, it's like a kit, and that would just stay in the garage all year long, and then they won't be frozen with the cold. My neighbor is not stupid. I'm possibly their plan B, so they better shut up. Oh, because they want the eggs and the access. Yeah, most I've read it says, yeah, it increases bioavailability. So I'm not sure. As far as probiotics, yes, about the fermentation. I didn't hear it. I fermented in the past. Oh, okay. That's what they say. It makes them absorb the nutrients more freely and readily. So people recommend fermenting, but it is a bit of a task because you have to have it soaking. And so I'm going to try it, but I'm not going to rely on fermented food because I'm so new. I'm going to just give them the dry food, and I am going to grow them fodder. Fodder is wheatgrass or barley grass or whatever you want to call it, even flaxseed, whatever grains. I have the 3 trays, and I'm going to start growing fodder once I think the aphids are down in this house, because they're in the endive. I had to spray it again last night with insecticidal soap. So once that's toned down, I'm going to start with the fodder, and I'm going to use the fodder to make my wheatgrass juice, and I'm going to use it to feed the birds. Whoops, worms make good bait for panfish. So yeah, I'm going to work on that because I think the worms is an easier thing for me, as well as the chicken manure, to increase my fertilizer, build my soil. It helps with probiotic development too, but it's not the only way to feed chickens. Fodder is good, and yeah, I'm definitely going to use fodder because fodder is good for people as well too. So those of you who are, listen, I don't know where you are or what you're at. Some people are get your chickens. If you are allowed to have chickens, you have the space. I'm not saying get 20, get 2, get 3. I think 3 is a good number because they have company and they have a little crew. Get 3 birds. I'm telling you, it's not gonna cost so much, especially when you start giving them all your kitchen scraps. Like, it's really not. I can only speak from my experience, but I'm happy. Yeah, man, no problem. I'm here to listen. I just want to know where you heard that from or what, because I'm always researching. Me always researching. We are voting on allowing 6 feet vinyl fence lakefront in my HOA next month. So fingers crossed. Neighbors are building pools, but I'm trying to get chickens and expand my garden. You got it right. Forget the damn pool. No one's getting swimming pool. Grow your own mealworms for chicken. Now, I know mealworms are good for the birds, but just hearing that name made me feel disgusting inside. Ugh. It come like maggots. I feel like, ugh. But I know it's good for you. Good, not good for you. Good for the birds. I'm not eating none of that. Hey, the word. I'm not sure about. I know I saw a bag of it online yesterday somewhere. Mealworms and some other larva they recommend. I can't remember the name now, but I don't know about growing mealworms. It just made me feel disgusting inside, just hearing that. So I think I'll stick to the fodder until I research some more about that thing, because that just ugh. Hey, the bud fella. I don't know if I said hi to you already, but maybe I did. But just in case I missed you, with fermentation, it increases the feed amount, but it depletes the amount of nutrients per serving. I'm not sure. You may be right, but I didn't hear that. So because from what they said or the way they make it sound, it's more nutrient dense. The volume of the feed, yes, it expands, but they're saying it's more nutrient dense because that's what sprouting does. The sprouting, when you sprout your grains, that's what it is. So the fermentation, you're just not sprouting it, but you're allowing them to open and to crack, and they're more available, the nutrients, which means they can eat less because there's more, not more, but they're more available, bioavailable. I don't know. Well, I'll look into that further because I've never heard that. That's interesting. GT wants to grow wheelworms. Oh Lord. I don't know what it is. Just hearing the word mealworms. I'm picturing all these slimy, big, yuck. Ugh. I can't stand it. I like when they buy them because they're dry, like they've been deep fried or something. Expect 2 to 3 weeks before they start laying after move. Yeah. So exactly. And those 2 to 3 weeks will be spent finishing off some other projects for them so they can get, I want to get the fenced run. I call it the playpen, the kennel that I'm going to attach to the extended coop so they can kind of come and go during the day. I didn't hear that either, but I did it myself. I'm not talking about grains. I'm talking about chicken feed. People ferment chicken feed. No. I understand what you're saying, but I guess I'm calling that grain. But doesn't the chicken feed have grain in it? Or am I mistaken? Maybe I'm thinking of the lady who mixes up all her food in a mix-up and she adds grains to the food. I'm gonna find that video, Fifi, and share it on my community, or I'll send it to you, because this lady's in a cold climate, which is what caught my eye, because that's what I'm in, a cold climate. And don't think about the meal, the word, yes, ugh. And she's mixing, I mean, maybe that's why I'm caught, because she puts corn in there, the sunflower, and she mixes it up with the store-bought food, and she creates a mix. So maybe when she's fermenting that's why, because she has the lentils and the mung beans and all the different stuff in there. And she adds regular stuff from the store, like just a bag of peas, a bag of whatever. And she's mixing it with a mix. And then she's using that to serve her chickens, either dry or fermenting. And it's not, she's mixing it. Yeah. So I'm going to send that video to you, because she's adding, it have grain, but she adds grains to the feed. And that's what, yeah, she's adding a whole bunch of stuff to make it more nutritious and just to make it stretch, because it's cheaper for her to buy some of the components. That's why I'm going to add alfalfa pellets to my feed. I don't know if this is correct. I'm just saying it. It's an experiment, but it can't do no wrong. And add the just add regular dry alfalfa pellets to the feed. I bought a bag of black sunflower seeds, wild bird seed, whatchamacallit, those treats that you hang from the cage, suet, and those things, and there's stuff like that. I ferment scratch. They always have access to dry pellets. I think there was confusion. Okay, no problem. So you do feed them dry food, but you ferment the food as well to give them a different nutritional. That makes sense. So I will definitely incorporate that. I feed my chickens cheese. I named him Cordon Bleu. Oh, can they eat cheese? Because sometimes I have cheese. I'm not supposed to eat cheese, but sometimes I can't have pasta without cheese. Like, come on. I eat cheese sometimes, and sometimes I don't eat it fast enough, so I can give them the old cheese. I know I can give them rice, and my steamed vegetables. But yeah, there's quite a few stuff that I put in the compost bin that I will actually give, like the vegetable peelings. Can they eat orange peels and those kind of stuff? Lemon peels? I wonder. I'll feed them all my juicing scraps. They can have all the pulp from the juicer. And then once they're finished, I take their waste and put that in the compost bin. Because right now the compost is taking a long time this winter to really break down. So this would be a better option for me. But we're learning from each other. I'm not gonna stay on much longer. I'm gonna wrap it up. But what else am I going to say? So yeah, for those of you, let's just say a few things to wrap it up. So some people kind of look at gardening as, I would say, maybe kind of look down on gardening, or gardening is boring, or gardening is not important. It's highly important. You can't feed yourself if there's no farmers. If there's no citrus. Okay, thank you, because then I'll be giving them orange peel. And almost like you look down on it, or people don't take it seriously, or that's not very important. Like, it's not top of the prepping hierarchy. I don't personally believe that. You can't eat without us growing food and farming, point blank, period. If we don't know how to preserve food and do all that, you wouldn't be eating. A lot of us are building our homesteads because we're feeding ourselves. We're saving money because we're feeding ourselves, and we could put our money elsewhere. So I don't want that to be this negative mindset, as if we're basic, unintelligent people. That's far, far from the truth. And there seems to be a bit of a stereotype. That's not true. This takes science. This takes biology, horticulture, animal husbandry. It takes food science, how to balance nutrients. There's a lot of skills, financial skills, how to budget and make things work. There's a lot of skills involved in whether gardening, farming, homesteading that are very scientific and very intellectual. But some people may, look at people that they're quote unquote simple as an insult. That's far from the truth. So respect your farmers, respect your homesteaders, respect your backyard farmers. We're the ones keeping food on many people's table and being able to share with other people. Don't give your chickens cheese, free range, and mix it good. Keep it simple. Yes, good advice, because I don't know where I'm going with myself to go make it complicated just yet. But I will learn these tricks as time passes. So this, yeah, respect your farmers, respect people who grow food, respect, those aspects of prepping. It's just as important, if not more important, than some of the other aspects, because if you ain't got food to eat, they ain't nothing to talk about. You're not gonna make nothing. You're not gonna make it a day. If you don't have water, people don't know how to get water from produce and extract water. You're not gonna survive. So put some respect on our name, on farming, backyard gardeners, homes. Put some respect on our name. Number one. Number two is spring is in the air. Now's the time to start planting. If you're a planter, if you're not, you can learn. Keep it simple. Start small. Don't get confused with all of our talk about, soil, this and that will come in time. Don't worry about that just yet. Just start somewhere and you'll figure out as it goes. And as you have problems, just ask, and everybody's here to help. If we don't know, we'll look it up. We'll find out. We'll experiment. We'll test. Grow as much food as you can, as natural as possible. You don't need all the chemicals. I have fertilizer that I already bought from before I started really doing this on YouTube. So I will probably be using it on occasion and get rid of it and experiment with different crops in different locations, but you don't need it. Make your own compost tea. Hydroponics, I'm going to be dropping the WIG, some of the content this week. I have all the videos recorded, but I just didn't edit them yet. So you're going to be seeing like 3 and 4 videos, just boom, 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 WIG. And take it from there. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Get some chickens if you can, those of you who are allowed, and get some chickens. I don't care. Get you 2 or 3 chickens. It will, if you are truly a gardener growing your own food and you want to control your land and your fertilizer, you need to get your own. You can't always be out getting from other people. Get your own. Check out the hypathon that's going on today. Thank you for popping in with me. I'm not on the hypathon now, but I'll pop in again later. Broke Farmer is live at 3:00 with its 5,000 subs giveaway. So support Broke Farmer at 3:00. Put it on your calendar. And 7:00 is the chat. And tonight, I think it's on the Everyday Life of an OCDist Chick. And again, they have a special guest. So 7:00 tonight, the chat. And Monday, I will be on My Fly Family for the bunker challenge, or they do a bunker challenge at 8 p.m. I believe. Yeah, 8 p.m. on Monday night Eastern time. And something else is happening. I can't recall, but just check people's community tabs and see what's going on. Make sure you're subbed to the channel, you're subscribed, you're watching the videos, please, and thumbsing them up. I hope you're liking the editing that's going on in the intros and the outros. Let me know in the comments. And there's membership available on my channel. The link is dropped periodically. Check it out and consider it. And there's a buy me a coffee, and we'll take it from there. I'm going to try working on some merch soon because somebody said to work on it, even though I was like, hell no, but work on it. So I'm going to work on that soon, and something else, but I will keep that to myself until it's finished. Support the community. There's my Big Rooster TV. There's Unbiased, Bougie Prepper, G Mama Grows. There's quite a few people you'll see around that I'm, Lashes Journey. Support her. Planter Garden TV. Gina versus Gina. Erica, My Fly Family on Wednesdays. I'm always there. Support her. Who else? Just different ones that you hear me name every so often. Check them out, support. If you like their content, then sub to them, and let's continue to build this community. I think Growing with Hudson is trying to get her watch hours. So check out Growing with Hudson, and if you like her content, support, run her playlists, and get her up to her watch hours. All right, I've said enough. It's been here 2 hours. Join the Hypathon. I'll see you at 3 o'clock on Broke Farmers Live. I'll leave the live running for a few minutes. You can type #urban to drop your link. So you can start dropping it now. Leave some space between each person. And I'll let you drop your links for a few minutes so that you can find each other easily. And then I'll end it in a few. Okay. So Broke Farmer is going live today at 3 o'clock for his 5,000 sub giveaway. It was on my phone this morning. So I believe it's today. Yeah. It's not tomorrow. It's today. But let me check. Hold on. Now you got me confused. Hold on. You got me confused. Hold on. Give me a second here. I know I put it to remind me. Broke Farmer. Yeah. Is it March the 12th? Today the 12th? Oh no, I'm lying. Sorry. Tomorrow. Thank you, Sam. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock is Broke Farmer's 5,000. So not today. Sunday, tomorrow. So notification is on. But watch his latest video though today. Watch his latest video. He has 2 videos that came out. So tomorrow is Broke Farmer. Unbiased had a video. I think Mona from Sitting Some Soil was at Unbiased House cooking up some food. And today, okay, I see today Planter Garden is live at 2 p.m. So Planter Garden, notify me. Hold on. But type in #urban while I'm sitting here talking. Hold on. Drop your links. If you want to drop your link, that is. And yep. So Planter Garden today at 2 o'clock. Tomorrow is Broke Farmer at 3. And I don't see anybody else on my. And also Unbiased is having some talk show. She's releasing her video. So check out Unbiased. Not Unbiased, sorry. Best Yet Journey. I said Unbiased already. Best Yet Journey. And check her out as well. She dropped some videos. And the WIG 2022 is coming to an end soon. And Planter HGC 2023 #. Check out people's submissions for the Herb Garden Challenge. I am learning that herb garden is not as easy. Man, when you're growing in the water, Lord. 2 people, 3 to 5 chickens. Yeah, I got more than that, but I got a little carried away with the ordering. Chicken math is real, and I haven't got the chickens yet. But yeah, 3 chickens is good. Start small and drop your links. Okay, so I'll see you at 2 o'clock on Planters Live.